underway in the first ban phase. We're going to take a look at EG and Na'Vi as some familiar looking bans here. We saw in that Zai interview him talk about Mirana, which EG did run in both games yesterday, taken out by Na'Vi. And of course, Void, more and more, we're seeing a lot of teams prioritize that hero as a first phase ban.
Yeah, Mirana just causes so much pressure. I mean, it's a solid mid, like they were saying, it's versatile, and I feel like the Moonlight Shadow actually did a lot of work yesterday for EG.
I think the other reason why Mirana is so popular in the current meta is because of all the illusion heroes, and Mirana with Axe is very good at dealing with that.
Yeah, the other thing for Na'Vi is they love to run Enchantress, and Mirana is probably one of the best heroes in the game to shut her down with the heavy nuke burst, so you don't really care about Untouchable. I know that's something they've mentioned quite a few times before, that that's why they either prioritize picking it versus Ench or banning it if they want to go for it. So
I think this is not a bad approach here by EG to ban general heroes.
Yeah.
I think general is kind of the key guy that when he really gets rolling in a match, you can say this about a lot of offlaners, but I really feel like in many ways general keyed Na'Vi's rise back to power here. And once again, we're going to see this first phase Drow strat. We saw this fail a couple of times earlier today due to some early lane pressure, but EG confident in what they saw out of Secret last night.
Alright, so Darkseer is available. That's a hero we've seen a lot, like the Darkseer +1. They can kind of run at you in the laning stage.
Shadow Demon, Elder Titan.
I actually prefer.
What is your preferred
Elder Titan more?
Elder Titan?
Yeah.
Versus the Drow.
Delay the push constantly.
Right. I think Elder Titan gives you that early aggressive roam potential, and later on in the game makes it harder for Drow to take those towers, at least not without a pickoff.
You need heroes that are good at contesting Roshan, especially against Drow. Because
That's
like today we saw games that Drow fail. All of those games were attributed to losing at a key Roshan fight.
Does Na'Vi run Elder Titan? I don't think I can recall having seen them play it.
I think Soneko
plays it.
plays it.
Not too much though. They were probably one of the ones that
Normally they
favored
get
the
like
least.
that roaming hero for him, like the IO or Bounty Hunter, or, you know, something.
Yeah, the
more
other
aggressive.
thing I can see here is them going with an IO strat to counter the Drow. But again, that's really tricky. You really have to get the level 6 early on the Wisp, and you have to make those early relocates count.
Yeah, because it's really bad against 5-man if you fall behind.
Yes.
And usually the way they play the IO is very different. Like they use the IO to to fight a lot.
And
Yeah,
to win
they're
the
very
lanes.
often aggressive dueling with it, and this is a really powerful combination for them. They will run the aggressive dueling often with the IO. They will also run general in the offlane with this Nature's Prophet. Occasionally they'll run Ditya Ra on it in the safe lane. So this is it's a much more flexible line open for Na'Vi than it would be for other teams.
Yeah, like if it's Alliance, you know, it's just going to be a Bulldog Nature's Prophet. It's most likely going to be in the off lane.
It was the same opening when they played against Fnatic yesterday. So basically that game they had 3 cores, Shadow Fiend, Prophet, who was the other?
Lycan, was it?
Yeah, it was Lycan.
Lycan, yeah.
So basically they had 3 cores and the supports were like running around the lanes to make sure that all the 3 cores get farmed.
So EG going to respond to this one now. Na'Vi have
Shadow
given up
Demon's
a lot
still
of
in the
information
pool.
with these 2 picks.
Yeah, Shadow Demon Drow was like very common today, like almost every game.
Wow, but they're gonna come back with a PPD special, the Crystal Maiden. PPD and Puppy, 2 captains still alive in this tournament, probably the 2 best Crystal Maiden players in the scene.
Yeah, it's a much better support to deal with the Treants early. CM and Witch Doctor are the 2 supports to go to against that.
How you going to do my boy Ake like that?
Oh, fair enough. One of my favorite Puppy averages like 3k damage
they might
per
actually
freezing
pick,
field.
They
It's
might actually pick
ridiculous.
Storm this game because they have CM and they have Drow Aura.
Yeah, we did see it get banned 3rd, 4th, I think yesterday, like at most of the times when the Drow was picked up, but definitely a possibility. It's super good versus the Wisp.
These 2 heroes make the Storm very good in the game.
Yeah.
The mana and the damage from the Aura.
Yeah, and that, I mean, again, you look at last year, EG taking home DAC, taking home TI5, Storm Spirit, arguably the signature hero for Sumail during that period.
Yeah, apart from Storm, Timber is also really good versus these 2 heroes. Everything is still in the pool here for them, and it's a Sumail hero.
It's very unusual not to see a team take a defensive support with the Drow. Right now, it seems like that's generally the go-to. Shadow Demon,
usually
Dazzle,
even Oracle. See a lot of Drow Oracle openings.
And it's also like CM is not really a go-to pick for most teams, so I feel like that actually reveals a lot.
When you pick CM, it's like to facilitate a certain hero, like like a hero like Elder Titan. You see from OG, especially when they pick Elder Titan, sometimes they pair it with CM because Elder Titan is a hero that uses the mana pretty well.
Yeah, I wonder if you're going to see a Chen ban next from Evil Geniuses, because I could see Na'Vi just going all into a push lineup here.
Chen or the Lycan.
Yeah,
I think Lycan's
really
the more likely because of Drow Ranger, but
the Chen still goes very well with the IO though.
It does,
the double heal.
And I mean, that's a Na'Vi staple. They're one of the few that still run it.
Yeah. And it allows them to play aggressive early game, so maybe I would argue that the Chen is probably much more important for them to run the kind of strat that they want to run, compared to banning out the Lycan. For they do ban out the Riki.
Ban the Riki, that's interesting.
Huh. Do they run Riki and Io in the same lineup?
That's...
Because both of those heroes are played by the same player.
Yeah, they're both Seneko heroes.
Not so sure about that ban, but...
Yeah, that's unusual. I think there are a lot of options here for Na'Vi. The Lycan, the Chen, the Juggernaut.
And Na'Vi pretty much always run the IO the same way, where it's just helping Dendi mid. Like, even if he's not like a traditional...
Actually, some of my favorite Na'Vi IO games, for a while they were running it in an aggressive dual lane with the General Batrider. That was around Dream League.
As of late, it's mostly been...
It's like if art style doesn't get like his Enchantress or something, then Seneko focuses more on helping out General with the Wisp. Yeah, it's like as long as art style can't make the movements with one of his heroes, then they emphasize on helping General.
If he's on like Witch Doctor,
the Witch Doctor too.
Shadow Shaman, then he's going to be the passive like support on the lane. Then Seneka is going to be doing mostly the roaming.
So what do Na'Vi want to pair with the IO here, guys? There's a lot of options still available. They go to Timber.
They take the Timber themselves.
Also a little bit of a deny pick. And Dendi's shown what he can do on that hero yesterday.
Taking away from the GOAT.
Yep. Safe, solid pick. Nothing really too specific about it versus EG, but
good against physical damage.
Yep.
Also another hero. That's the other thing is that you haven't given away too much about your lanes here yet.
I mean, now Storm looks even better, but maybe not the third pick. I think EG could wait for it.
Yeah, because Na'Vi is not going to pick that hero.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
certainly not now.
This is like the perfect setup now. They even take the Nyx too.
This is good for those 3 heroes that Na'Vi have. The
great hero against
the Carapace, the Mana Burn owns all 3 of those heroes.
Yeah, Vendetta super good versus Nyx, of course.
Yeah, and that's a lot of Nyx picks we've seen recently have been in the 3 position. Zai is a very good 4 position Nyx.
It could even be like a kind of deny pick setting up for the Storm for EG later on.
But don't you think with the CM, because CM is going to be mostly jungling, then it's difficult to run Nyx as the other support?
It is, but I've seen EG make support combinations like that work. They'll pick relatively self-sustaining cores, or at least keep that Crystal Maiden up in the jungle close enough to Drow Ranger in the top lane.
Yeah, because Drow is a carry that doesn't really need too much babysitting early.
Right.
This is the setup for the relocate ganks here, as well as just a hero that can win the lanes.
Strong support so the Wisp can move easily. And just in case it's a Nyx off lane, the Bane can actually zone him easily.
Both these supports can actually roam fairly easily. Like, either one of those 2 can roam. So
also makes you maybe think a little bit about taking the Storm Spirit mid.
Yeah. Now they have a pretty good lockdown for him.
Even Feeble later on is pretty decent versus Drow. I mean, we don't see it picked up very early anymore, but
you generally don't get so many levels on game, unless it's a long game. But you can see what Na'Vi is doing right now with their draft. They have 2 heroes, 2 supports that are very good at winning the lanes. They have 2 cores, most likely going to go for another farming core instead of going for a tempo core. So the 2 supports will be spending a lot of time
the Storm.
Just what we were saying.
Helping the lanes. So they're still going to go for the Storm, which they already specifically set it up for.
Yeah.
I'm curious about this, guys. You guys saw some Storm games at the Summit, right?
Not that many actually. I think we saw like what, 2.
I know I've seen a couple. I've seen a couple Storm matches recently, and I'm trying to think of where they were played.
Nanyang had CDEC Youth played it, I think once or twice, and then I think we saw 1 or I think only one at Summit.
He's had I mean, there was a period where everyone was saying Storm was just completely dead and a terrible hero.
Yeah,
but he's had a resurgence
This
lately.
patch with a small buff on his intelligence and Bloodstone being a little bit better.
Yeah, and he's enabled. I mean, so hard by EG's
and he's got the Drow and the Crystal Maiden. Yeah. Even the next to set him up for jumps.
In some games, Storm was picked to specifically counter Tinker as well. Recently, there's been a lot of Tinker picks.
Yeah. I think the Storm is also, I mean, very, very good versus the Timbersaw at all stages of the game, for obvious reasons.
And EG gonna round it out. Let's say Universe Darkseer.
When's the last time you saw a 5th pick Darkseer?
Oh, good call, Alan.
This looks a lot like an EG draft right there, though. It looks like an old school, like an old EG draft from last year.
Looks like Universe might actually get some farm, guys.
Yeah. They have Zai and Sumail on the pressure heroes. On the Space Makers.
Yeah, it depends how they're gonna lane. Whoa.
They actually go for Huskar last.
Yeah.
I mean, they have 4 heroes that are quite bad versus Huskar. Only Drow deals a good amount of physical damage against him. The other 4 heroes are mainly spell damage.
And she doesn't deal very much when she's getting jumped, which is exactly what Huskar is going to be looking for.
This is actually a very good Huskar game here.
And it's not like it's not a go-to hero for Na'Vi by any means, but...
Like you were saying...
Uras played it.
Yeah, he plays it quite often though.
Yeah. Like you were saying too, there's no real like save hero for the Drow Ranger either. So in this situation, if the Huskar gets on his face, it's going to be really hard to save him.
Yeah, I
don't think EG saw this coming.
No, I don't think so. I mean,
we've seen a lot of
5th
pick Huskars. We've even seen like earlier in the draft, but I don't think EG.
I mean, honestly, their last bin was also pretty understandable. They are going to pick the Darkseer. They have Storm. They have heroes that are really good mana void targets, so they ban out the AM.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Well, Fogged, any final thoughts here, buddy? I like this Na'Vi draft.
I like the Na'Vi draft. I think the Huskar pick was really clever.
They just got Huskar.
Yeah.
All right.
This feels like one of those games.
Well, with that said, let's see whether EG can take it or whether the Huskar pick will indeed come through for Na'Vi. We're going to take it over to Winter and LD for Game 1.
All right. Welcome in, guys. Game 1 has begun now. EG versus Na'Vi.
The Huskar has begun.
Best of 3. It's like, do you think getting Huskard is worse or getting Brood mothered back when Brood was a go-to pick?
Getting Meepo is the
getting
worst.
Meeponed. Who is a good Meepo player, by the way?
Huskar is pretty annoying. I mean, probably the most annoying one. More annoying than Brood, in my opinion. Because if you can't kill him, there's nothing you can do. At least you can kill Brood.
It used to be like Drow was the cheese pick. You know, now Drow is the first pick, so.
Drow is, the flavor of the month, I'd say now.
Well, you seem to favor Na'Vi looking at the draft. How did EG respond? Obviously, they can't change what they picked.
It's very difficult for them to even pressure the Huskar with their heroes. So, like, usually the way you deal with Huskar is you have to either have heroes that can kill him or you pressure him in the laning phase early.
So he has a slower armlet timing, he doesn't snowball.
Yeah, because he's not actually very, very good in the lane. In the first few levels, he's very weak. He has very low base damage, low armor, not much HP.
And the fire spears, you do a lot of damage to yourself if you're spamming them, so.
We'll see a rune fight here.
Let's see who's gonna grab it. Zai, still holding on to the stun for now. Thought about casting, but he's dropping pretty low. Gets the 3 hero impale off. EG with the double bounty rune grab and the first blood going their way. Great start for them. Huskar doing a lot of chip damage, but unable to secure a kill. And PPD, the man to claim it, so EG off to the races.
Didn't expect EG to be able to win out there, and that was a very, very good stun from Zai. He was really patient with his Impale initially. He didn't want to, use it too early. Use it at the right time. Getting his stun that first blood, so well played there. But
he canceled the cast there and found a better angle, and already moving. Wants to rotate on the mid lane, drops a ward down, keeping tabs on Seneko.
Yeah, that's a very good ward against Io, so you scout out the stacks that he's been doing. Oh,
he wants to go in here. He's got the 2 hero stun again. Zai doing a lot of work early.
You don't see Nyx support doing this a lot early. Like, mostly when you see teams pick the Nyx as a position 4, you focus a lot on getting levels, trying to get to your level 6 as soon as possible so you can actually roam and gank, but this is rather strange.
I think he's a little underrated for this just because of the really high base HP regen that he has compared to other heroes, so he can trade effectively.
I mean, usually you do this with heroes that don't need too much levels. Like
right.
Ricky, Bounty, heroes like Tuss, Spirit.
Yeah, perhaps we'll catch up a bit later on.
Yeah, this Prophet is actually having a really good time because he is having the Bane sitting up top here. He's gonna be able to get a lot of farm and experience out of this lane.
Do you expect to see them make a move with the Prophet at a particular time? Generally, we see teams will try to gank Storm before he gets 6.
I'm pretty sure. Oh, bottom lane.
And then he's gonna get caught out here by an Impale. Zai, really all over the place. First he's
because if you
top rune, now he's mid, then he's bottom.
If you look at their heroes, Prophet is most likely going to make the first move for Na'Vi. The other heroes are not going to be trying to move too much, the other cores, so Prophet is going to be hoping that he can make a move, get a kill, pressure towers, especially when Huskar hits the armlet timing.
So we are going to see the bottle now picked up for the IO, and Na'Vi going to see Zai moving in mid. He's hasted, very aggressive. Just looks like he's trying to secure the lane for Sumail more so than anything else. Not really posturing for a kill. Still the Huskar CS seen okay, 9-2, but the real winner has been this Darkseer. 15-1 in the off lane already. Universe just having complete free farm.
I mean, he's against a Timber. Timber doesn't do anything against Darkseer. So it's kind of expected that the Darkseer will get a lot out of the lane, and he's gonna hit that early mech timing, because if you look at Na'Vi's lineup, if they want to get a mech, I mean, they can either do it on the Prophet or the IO. So I don't think that they'll get it as early as the Darkseer.
Yeah, he's keeping the pressure on Dendi though. Dendi still doing okay in the CS department, but top lane, it looks like Zai drops low here, does pop the Fairy Fire, will end up going down, so now the score 1-1, Na'Vi pressing forward, looking for a bit more general, strutting up, and PPD has currently been put under. Is Fear gonna get brought down here too? He will, then the IO joins the fray, Artstyle arrives, and it will be 3-1, Na'Vi. Just doing Na'Vi things, crushing the lanes.
I mean, this is what we expected with the supports that they went for, the IO plus Bane. These two supports are extremely potent in the early game. They roam very easily, they don't need too much levels to be able to make an impact. And you see Zai here, going to the mid lane, trying to set up a stun onto Didyara, but not going to be able to get in range.
Yeah, they really want to punish those supports moving, but they will be coming back mid relatively soon, I imagine.
It's very difficult to punish with a support Nyx though.
Oh, the big tether forward and the move in general on the chase. There's a good stun from Zai, but the IO ball's not enough. Sumail slinks away on 10 HP. General almost finding another kill, but Na'Vi will be denied here. Sumail's gonna have to walk home.
That was so big for EG to be able to get Sumail out of trouble. The stun there from the Nyx, stopping that last right click.
That was very close.
Yeah. That was really important for them to keep him alive there. Like we mentioned, the rotations from the Prophet is going to be very dangerous for EG before Storm hits level 6.
Yeah, Sumail struggling a bit here in the level department now as he has to make his way back home. We might see Na'Vi make one more go. Maybe 4.5. I feel like they've got one more teleport opportunity if he gets out of position.
I mean, they have to protect him if he's going to go back to the lane. I'm not sure if there's stacks for the Storm at the moment. I don't recall seeing the Nyx making any stacks for him.
Do you see Na'Vi has a ward up as well, so if there are stacks, they would know.
No stacks for Storm.
So Didyara posting up a bit here.
This is very worrisome for EG right now. If they don't do anything to slow down this Huskar gets towards his timings, it's going to be so difficult to stop him.
And then the Nyx is looking a bit underleveled. He's really their setup hero come mid game, and Zai, he did a good job there of trying to secure the lanes, but with the rotations from the supports of Na'Vi, you know, falls quite far behind.
He's gonna get
set up on Fear. Sleep top lane. Moving on to Universe, who has arrived to try and assist this lane, but General just marches in, lays in with the right clicks. They continue to chase.
He didn't get his sprout off though.
Yeah, Universe is going to make out. Still, they force the Darkseer off the lane, and they leave the Nyx bottom. This is going to open things up a bit for Dendi now. See the Drow rotating to the bottom lane, so EG swapping up their setup here. Looks like they're trying to dodge what Na'Vi is throwing their way, and the support duo of Na'Vi is going to move on towards mid.
I mean, at
smoke.
At some point, they have to give a lane towards the Nyx to catch up. Level 6 Darkseer has to leave the lane jungle.
Sumail is not level 6 just yet, and Artstyle wants to punish, gets the sleep to set things up. They're going to deploy the tether slow, and Didyara moved in with the Fire Spears. He is pretty low here, though. They'll bring down Sumail, looking for Zai potentially as well, and it looks like the Nyx should be okay. Only 2 Fire Spears on them, and that base regen.
They're just abusing this stop.
Not okay. Wow, that hurts.
They're just abusing this Storm pre-level 6. This is very good play from Na'Vi here. And because EG doesn't have really good defensive supports, they can't really protect the Storm from other ganks like this.
Now moving on to PPD. Crystal Maiden caught out, gets slept. And then the balls. And they lay into PPD. Can they bring him down? They do. Na'Vi's support duo is on fire. 6-1 the score.
Here comes the Prophet.
And now they look for Universe too. Na'Vi is just swagging on EG at this point. Universe is going to die as well. That's their most farmed hero, 41 CS. A lot of net worth, and Sumail will finally respond here in the mid lane.
Oh my god,
finds
he got
a solo kill on Huskar of all heroes.
He solo killed the Huskar?
How did that happen?
Huskar must be low then, not sure, but...
That is not normally a matchup where you'll see a solo kill after the start.
I mean, that's the only good news so far for EG after the disastrous early game that has happened.
That's a poor Drow as well. This is we've been talking about the Storm having a hard time, but the real hero that's struggling here is the Drow
This
Ranger.
Storm is like going to be a very, very crucial part whether EG comes back into the game. There's only one disable on Na'Vi, which is the ultimate from the Bane. So Storm, if played correctly, will have a lot of room to move around and deal damage in team fights.
And we'll need to do so, as it doesn't appear like the other cores are going to be able to get the job done. So I guess the other big liability for EG is the Nyx Assassin's Eye. Only 600 net worth and level 3 at 8 minutes into the game.
I mean, this is just a result of how they actually played the Nyx. He was moving around, trying to help around a little too much, and his levels are suffering just because of that. I mean, it's by no means his fault. It might be just a team decision that they wanted him to play like this.
So what is like the adjustment now for EG? You mentioned Storm being the key, but they're going to lose their tier 1 top, so access to the jungle is a bit restricted right now.
I mean, I'm afraid they have to give...
Where did EG catch up?
They have to give a lane to the Nyx to get his level 6. That's... oh no, jeez.
No, ain't gonna be tough. The sleep is there, the relocate comes through, and then Dityara just jumps on in. Great 2 hero stun by Zai.
Dude,
but absolutely not gonna matter.
He's level 6 at 8 minutes on the IO.
He's more farmed than the Drow, Vincere. He's almost there with the Universe Darkseer. Had free farm bottom lane as Dityara returns to the mid lane. Sumail is going to drop to this Fire Spear damage. They might get the kill on Dityara, but the Sprout comes through and General gets to work on Universe. PPD, the new target, but not able to claim him. Suddenly, Drow roams in mid. EG are suddenly responding to Na'Vi a bit better, but still, we're seeing a lot of musical lanes. They are not farming on the Drow. Their jungle has been occupied. And with that fresh Observer Ward planted down, you got to imagine Na'Vi will be looking for more relocate ganks, more TP ganks in short order.
By the way, Gorman, all of this is happening.
There's a Timber Saw in this game.
With Timber in the safe lane not doing anything
Then he's
yet.
like, don't mind me, guys.
Still getting
catching up nicely though.
I wouldn't say he's catching up. Yeah.
He's at 3,300 net worth. He was losing his lane earlier.
Okay, fine.
You can't lose your lane when it's empty with it.
He's not exactly behind any of the enemy cores, so...
He was behind the Darkseer.
A little bit.
Oh, and again, Fear getting punished.
Fear is going to be further behind.
Caught out, Art Style has the Fiend's Grip, but just got slightly out of range, courtesy of a good gust there. Still, just look at the way Na'Vi has positioned EG. They've got 4 heroes kind of tucked away on the top side of the map. Dityara free farming and pushing mid, and finally, EG will look to respond.
Man, this has to work for them.
They don't have Vendetta though. This is not an easy gank, and they're going onto a Huskar. Seems they want to try to wrap around to get this IO, but they are going to find it. Saneko right around the 10-minute mark, looking for that rune. Might get caught out here. He tethers away. They'll relocate back, and reinforcements are likely going to arrive here soon. Nature's Prophet could potentially join the fray as well. Artstyle's there. EG are going to need help. Dual Dendy finally come to a fight. Yes, sirree. He chucks out the Chakram, lays into PPD. The backup has returned. Welcome to the dunk show, says Dityara. He gets in nice and close on EG. He's going to bring down PPD. The armlet toggle is there, and now on design. EG might just get team wiped here. This Huskar cannot be dealt with right now. Dendy says, yeah, I'm a hero in this game too, and Fear will have to back away, but Dendy's gonna chase him, lets the Chakram go, the tether move speed is there, they're gonna continue pursuit. A great gust, but is it gonna be enough for the old man? The orbs come through, he barely escapes.
Man, Soneko is just such a beast. He's doing so much for his team. He gets an early level 6 now, he's saving all the important heroes and whenever EG is making a move. Like, he's doing basically everything for his team.
So, the Drow lineup is getting pushed down and snowballed on.
I mean, they just got Huskar, man. They're not gonna be able to kill this Huskar with the IO around.
It didn't even feel like the Huskar was why they were winning the lanes, but now they have to deal with a Huskar with a lineup that doesn't match up that well. This is not looking great for EG.
They probably need a miracle right now. Like, Drow has to somehow get a lot of items to be able to kill the Huskar.
Well, they find a Dendi as I surged in under cover of Vendetta, but that is not the hero they want to be going for, and he will reluctantly back off. Yep. Towards mid.
Relocate should be up soon, so if they are going for that kill, they have to calculate that there's relocate +1 and Prophet TPing. So there's 3 heroes potentially arriving to the scene of the gank.
Yeah, that's where you ideally want to be ganking the IO, but Seneco's position has been good, has rarely been caught out. Only saw him that one time near the top room, but he still managed to relocate and get away.
I mean, what are the solutions that they can go for against this Huskar? Get a Silver Edge on draw?
It's not just the Huskar though. The Timbersaw with a Nyx this far behind is going to be a problem as well, and it just feels like the Drow can't really be a factor, so it puts even more pressure on Sumail. Like, you're always going to have the Timbersaw, the IO, the Huskar. Like, one of these heroes is going to be on the Drow, so she has to run away.
So, okay, say Storm gets an Orchid. You Orchid the Timber.
Well, you say Storm gets an Orchid. How about if General gets an Orchid first? Double Oblivion Staff already picked up.
Okay, then Storm's screwed then. He needs a use as well.
Not sure we're going to see too many taunts from Sumail in this game.
Right. I mean, this is a result of having a greedy support like Nyx and not giving him
And they
enough
did not
space.
play it greedy at all. EG played it completely the opposite. They asked Zai to control the lanes.
Yeah.
I mean, looking at that,
Here comes the DPR.
DPD. He's gonna make it out quickly. TP's home, but the Crystal Maiden not feeling like a factor this game.
This Huskar is just at the point where he is really not.
Oh, they're gonna make their move here. They want the IO, but it's not the squishiest IO. Will eventually go down. Still, Zai is gonna pay a 1-for-1. Sumail forced to TP out immediately. So they get the kill, but it's a lot of time being spent going back to Fountain, getting your mana back, and all the while General, he's farming. Orchid, I think, ready now. Just needs a little bit more gold for the recipe there, and
this is
then the next level of aggression comes from Navi.
This is looking real bad. The off-lane Prophet has the Orchid, minute 13.5, 14.
He feels like a one-position Prophet.
Yeah, so
an AK gold lead for Navi.
I mean, they have a support Nyx which did not help the safe lane too much at all. They have 2 heroes versus a Prophet plus Bane, so Prophet's gonna free farm.
Is there like a plan B for EG this game, Winter? Anything they can be looking to do to turn it around?
Super late.
They're not a great Roche lineup,
yeah,
right?
Super late game. You hope you drag the game as long as you can, where you reach a point where Storm can do a lot by itself. Because their heroes, like I mentioned, don't really deal with Storm very well. There's only Fiend's Grip from Bane. Everyone else does not have any lockdown.
Oh, they're gonna make a move here and dig around. The IO's in the trees behind him. The Dunk comes out. He's very tanky right now, and the good impale by Zai is gonna prevent Seneco from bringing his buddy out. Tried for the relocate there. It looks like does end up going down. So a 2-for-0. The Storm still falls.
The mech.
A 2-for-1. The mech
was
just
late.
a split second late. Storm was balling, but he ends up going down, and now they're going to look to turn it. Dendi's into the fray. Fear out of position here is going to get caught out. One more auto tech will finish the job. Drops the Sprout for the vision, finds the last hit, and does get the kill. Dendi still at full HP in the middle of this. Lets the Chakram go. They're looking to clean up the backlines now. EG have lost 3. A 3-for-3 exchange, but looking for more. The Chakram comes out, and just not quite enough damage. Close call there with the Timber Chain, but couldn't quite get the kill, even with the Whirling Blade. EG. A 3-for-3, that's pretty good, Winter, all things considered.
Yeah, all thanks to the stun from Zai there, connecting on the IO.
Imagine if they get the relocate save there. I mean, that's a team wipe the other way.
I guess you can say it was either a good stun from Zai or just IO not timing the tether at the last moment.
If he tethered a bit later,
yeah,
could have gotten him out. I think it's hard to fault Seneco's IO play too much this game, though.
It's very difficult to pull a perfect relocate every single time, so EG able to capitalize on that at that moment, but still, they lose a few heroes there.
And now the Orchid. So General has that, 1,500 more gold. What's the next step for Navi? They've obviously accomplished their early game here. They took early towers, they slowed down the Storm, they slowed down the Drow, they stopped the EG push. The Nyx is underleveled. They got the aggressive wards up. How do they advance from here towards, you know, bigger objectives, taking Roshan, which we still haven't seen, even with the Huskar in the game?
I feel they are just like really strong. They can basically do whatever they want. They can choose to push out all the lanes first if they want to, then proceed to either take towers or go for the Roshan at some... Maybe not so soon, Roshan. They are in no rush to actually get the Roshan. They can just like go for ganks and then take out the towers so you remove the map control.
Well, they're smoking towards the pit, and should they find some big kills here, maybe they transition directly into the old rock. They're going to move in. Timber Chain to start things off. The Chakram onto Fear. Now the Nature's Prophet will come through. Surprise, it's me! Raw says, quick dunk there, secures the kill, now looking for PPD. Tries to slow them down, but the chase is on. Na'Vi will find 2 more here, at least. The other 3 for EG, not even going to try to contest that, so they've given up their Drow Ranger again, and Na'Vi can just calmly transition into a Roshan if they so desire.
Yeah, this is just like the safest play ever. Go for kills, then go for the Roshan. So there's no way EG can contest here.
You know, the old Na'Vi, Vincere, they were known for like their out-of-control aggression at times, throwing away leads, but this Na'Vi, under the leadership of Artstyle, has been a lot more disciplined. So they take the 2 kills, they settle down, they go back for the Rosh. Now the TPs will come. Nature's Prophet to the top lane, a double TP to follow this one up, the Timbersaw. Oh, no trees to tether to there, so they will make it out, but EG still no objectives being given away freely here as Na'Vi will hold that top tower. Already moving Artstyle in mid. Looks like he wants to drop a ward down.
If Na'Vi just 5 mans down 1 lane now, I'm not even sure what EG can do. The only thing they can try is
sit behind the Huskar.
Just split push. They can't kill the Huskar.
And they really can't split push because there's relocated Nature's Prophet. So yes. you split push, you die.
He has a Hurricane Pike now even. So it's gonna even make it harder for them to kill the Huskar.
They are trying to set up here in the mid lane. Artstyle has the ultimate available.
And I
see the relocate forward.
I just don't see EG defending this if Na'Vi just groups up at 5 heroes and just pushes every single tower.
Oh, they are going to try though. They know that Seneco's going home soon. He's already down for the count. There's the relocate out. He survives. He will bring a buddy back and Dendy moves forward. They're going to try to focus on the Timbersaw here. Has the Bloodstone. He can suicide if needed and he is low. He will have to do so. EG. 2 important kills. Granted, they only really get the credit for 1, but no Timbersaw snowball, not yet anyway.
I mean, he had the Aegis though. I think they could have just left him first and then wait for everyone else to group up to on the same place. I think
they were trying to Fiend's Grip and then relocate and find a kill, yeah. And so they didn't have the relocate for later in the fight, unfortunately.
Yeah, they weren't not ready 100% for that fight to happen. So it was just like something similar happened in the Fnatic game where they got Roshan, they had a lead, and they tried to push, but then they took a fight before 5 heroes arrived on the same spot, and they lost the Aegis and they lost the fight.
So now they are going to congregate bottom now. They're lacking their Nature's Prophet, but General can join them at any moment. And they'll marshal their troops forward, bringing out some Treants.
Yeah, they just need to
down the tier
group
2.
up and make sure all 5 heroes are ready together. Not split up and just...
I just want to point out, we're 19 minutes in, EG is running a Drow. They have not taken a tower. That is
how bad the situation is.
That's pretty unprecedented, especially in this patch. And Fear is jungling. There's nowhere else really for him to go. They are looking, they're looking for Zai here, but
Sentry.
No detection. He almost pulled a me there. Mixing up the teams. Come on, Winter, keep it together. Now we'll see Sumail with the TP out. Oh no! Oh, EG, that is a kill they can ill afford to be giving up, and Na'Vi can just cleanly transition once this relocate expires. Already bringing 2 back to mid. Huskar there, the Nature's Prophet can join them. This tier 2 slated to fall, it seems. No, Glyph is available, but not sure it's even worth blowing it for this tower.
The way they siege is just very simple. Just put the Huskar in front and everyone stay behind. They just need to make sure that they don't get caught in a big vacuum into Nick's stun. As long as that doesn't happen, Huskar alone in front sieging, they should be able to siege safely.
And it really shouldn't happen that they get caught. Io can sit very far back.
I mean, during the course of the panel today and yesterday, we said a lot of things shouldn't happen, but it happened, so...
Well, now they have a BKB on General as well, so that's a hero that won't have to worry about the combo.
Yeah, but more importantly, it's like the Io plus the Bane. Like, these are the 2 key heroes that are extremely important for the lineup. Io to keep the Huskar alive, and Bane is their primary lockdown. Everyone else has no lockdown.
Do you want to point out here has a Quelling Blade here? Not gonna.
Well, well done, Gorman.
Not gonna be playing. Not gonna be pulling in our tour today. But I'm not sure the Quelling Blade's gonna save him from Huskar. I gotta tell you. See, you are in a mean mood today.
I'm in a mean mood.
Yeah. It's a little imp.
You...
It's So Navi, keep the AR up.
You're the one coming in late, and you're calling me a mean... I mean,
if you're nice, I won't call you anything. But we do see EG again poking around with Zai, trying to find openings here. Still no detection on Navi. And they are going to make the move, but General with the quick draw busts out the BKB and gets to work, locking down Zai in this crowd. They're going to finish off the Knicks here. Storm will just quickly abandon ship. Man, that was some great reactions there.
Well, like I said, if you try to gank heroes of...
And now they have a gem, so good luck with that, EG.
If you try to gank their heroes, you have always to account relocate is +2. In that case, they gank the Prophet, so there's no +1 from Prophet, but there's always a lot of global support coming in. I mean, they're just too far behind. They have to make all those desperate plays, you know. Try to get anything they can.
It's just really not the best, like, scrappy play from behind kind of lineup because you can't split push. IO Nature's Prophet will kill you. You can't fight Nyx ganks because they have a gem and a BKB on general now. Very likely. I mean, they've tried. It hasn't worked. They just don't really have comeback heroes, given the matchup, it feels like. Unless Navi make a big mistake at a push.
A big mistake? Navi needs to make at least 2 big mistakes. Maybe even 3. I mean, okay, 2.
Sumail, quick orchid, see ya! Oh, the goat has been brought down.
Oh my god, that's gotta suck so
Now
hard.
Navi look for a bit more. Zai on the run here, Archstyle chasing forward. Again, the chakram. Aggressive maneuver into the backlines they go. The Huskar arrives, allays into fear, and they will, I think, bring him down in the fountain. The fire spears, no, just barely able to outreach, and it finds the salve. Looking to get back out to the front lines quicker, but Navi already starting to work on the tier 3 tower here. No outer towers remain for EG. Yet to lose a lane of Rax, but Navi looking to change that very soon. And by the way, that IO has a soul booster. Yeah. That just happened.
I mean, in a normal game, I would say just get a solar crest and put the crest on the Huskar.
Snake's like, I'm just gonna buy the whole shop here. I need a couple of extra purchases while I'm in Los Angeles. But Navi, working on towers.
When you're that rich like BTS, you can buy anything you want, you know?
Oh. We're not the ones going to Land Cafe here, Vincere. Navi, though, are going to engage. They look to take the fight. Good combo by EG. The vacuum into the stun, but Sumail still dies, even when it's good for EG. It's not good enough. Navi marching for the IO leads them up to the high ground, and then he's like, oh, I should probably be in the backside here, but they are very difficult to deal with. Can they focus him down? They do get the kill on the Huskar. Well, I said Navi are normally very disciplined. Perhaps I jinxed them as they, narrowly missed losing general there. They did not get the Rax yet, Vincere.
Yeah, like I say, they just need to send the Huskar, not send so many heroes up and get vacuum comboed.
I just like when like Seneco's like charging in, the IO's rushing on the high ground first.
Or he's getting a Bloodstone so that he can suicide.
Sustain the push.
Yeah, sustain the Huskar.
What a team player.
That's like the wing strat, you know? They did this with the Dazzle when they picked Dazzle support.
What a guy. But Navi
cost them a buyback, you know?
They have exposed the Rax here. They almost finished off the melee. And they did have to buy back, granted on CM, not the biggest deal.
I still think it's actually very simple for them to siege. Just send the Huskar up and everyone else just stay behind.
And don't dive the tier 4s.
And he sieged the Rax alone. No one runs up. And IO just gets ready to tether, relocate, whatever, to keep the Huskar alive.
Well, and good news for Navi, they did hang on to the gem, and they do now grab their Bloodstone. This Archstyle moves in under cover of smoke. Do they just wait for this next Roshan, you think, before Navi go for the siege?
I mean, they don't need to, but that's obviously the best play, you know.
You said it like you expect them not to, because it's the best play. Oh, you have little faith.
I guess after what happened the last time, they're probably gonna wait for Huskar to finish his halberd, and then wait for the Roshan as well. And go high ground again.
About a minute and a half or so to go on that as Zai moves in again. Trying to set things up here. He has done a tiny bit of damage to Archstyle. He engages with the Vendetta. Dendy there in support. He's going to immediately see this as an opportunity to charge on in. EG now quickly retreating, but there's the dunk, as well as the silence on Zai, preventing the escape for the Knicks. Down he goes.
You know, making all those kills like this is like, someone is going to die. There's relocate and there's Prophet going to come in.
And at best it's a 1-for-1, you know.
Well, in this case, it was a pretty much even trade. Support for support.
Well,
okay, this Huskar is not gonna die, right?
Things get a lot harder now. Yeah, I mean, MKB is a distant dream for EG, I would say.
Bloodthorn.
Ah, yes, because Sumail is just farming so well.
I feel like he needs some other items before he goes Blood War here.
He needs, say, maybe
BKB.
Screw BKB. I mean, okay, he has to get BKB, no choice.
The Timber. Did you see that last fight when he died near the secret shop? Yeah. He died in like one combo.
BKB, an armor item, maybe Shivers, then the Blood Taunt. Maybe in 10 minutes.
You can't even say it with a straight face.
Okay, 15.
Now we are going to camp out for the Roshan here. 13 Bloodstone charges on Seneko.
Okay,
how many does Dendi have?
Okay, now we go for the Roshan. Don't do anything crazy now.
I want to see if the IO ends up with more Bloodstone charges. Oh, there's the grip, and yep, see you, Sumail.
Okay, that is...
The relocate couldn't even get there in time.
He just wants to get a Bloodstone charge, you know.
By the way, IO has officially more Bloodstone charges than Timber saw right now.
Really?
13 to 9. Seneko lapping Dendi.
You have to work harder for more charges. Tondo.
You gotta want it. Mr. Ira begins the siege. There's the vacuum, the stun, the combo, Navi getting caught out. And Ira Hurricane pikes the hell away, but Seneko is there to support him. Dendi okay for now, so they've only lost a Bane. The Storm does end up dropping.
Why does he have to
and they go
so
in. Ditya manning up on the PPD, turning back on the Fear, decides the Crystal Maid is already dead to the Spears and looks for other kills. He is low though. The IO trying desperately to save him is gonna push himself away and does get the heal off again. The wall is still going, and Navi say, we don't care about your wall. We're gonna break it right down. Just waiting from distance.
Man,
moving forward.
Every time I say just leave the Huskar up front, the Bane has to run up.
Yeah.
Someone has to run up.
Style wants to keep it interesting as the big dunks come out. Ditya going deep. This ain't the NBA All-Star match.
Right,
you wouldn't know it. They are getting Huskar'd like crazy, and I imagine it doesn't feel too good.
Nope. Sure.
29 to 14. EG getting spanked here in game number 1. Navi over a kill per minute. This felt over after the 5-minute mark.
Oh, you're being generous. Over after the 5-minute mark. Over after the draft.
Hey, EG got first blood, Vincere. No need to be unnecessarily negative here.
You know, I'm just saying, you know, what I see in the draft when you get a 5th pick Huskar like that, you know you're screwed.
And EG did not expect it at all. They had no idea the Huskar was coming. They did not draft against it. They did not anticipate it. They got ambushed, plain and simple.
That's why Dota is so difficult nowadays. You have to draft proof yourself to be able to